What's up, guys? Today I will be making some jerky. A lot of people that use different cuts. Here in the Southwest city of El Paso, Texas, I use what's called pulpa bola. And what it is, it's it's sirloin tip. That's what the butcher told me. It's a big roast that they use, and they semi freeze it and they slice it super thin. This case, it's at $6, about $6 a pound. I got about 12 bucks worth of it. As far as the amount, I just buy whatever amount of money I want to get, and usually it's around 2 to 3 pounds at all. I want to give a shout out to Masterbuilt for being so generous enough to let me in on their brand ambassador program and sponsoring me with MES 440 and the brand new 560 series gravity feed smoker. I'll go ahead and post more videos of the MES of the Masterbuilt 560. Today we're going to be using the 440, which has a ton of awesome features, especially for cold smoking or smoking at low temps and adjusting your smoke settings. Okay, so there's plenty of things you could use. Plenty of spices you can use. Here are just a few of my favorites. Well, these two here, actually this one here so far is my favorite go-to. You can use what's called tajin, and what that is, it's like a chili lime powder that you can purchase where they sell fruits or whatever, Mexican meat markets or the Hispanic section. That is a really nice spice. I started using this Mrs. Dash. I started kind of cutting down on my salt intake. The Mrs. uses this, but this Mrs. Dash gives an amazing flavor. I did a little experiment, and it's always good to experiment. I did an experiment of adjusting the salt. What I do is I use kosher salt. This is really good stuff. You can get this at Dollar Tree for $1. And that restaurant style black pepper. This is a thicker. For some reason it looks thicker, like a more coarser. Y'all can see that there, but it's a more coarser pepper, my opinion. Either that or have to grind it yourself. But yeah, what I would do is I would just salt one side of the meat, and on the other side I would add the spice. Especially, you gotta be careful, especially if you have really thin stuff like what I'm gonna use right here. Yeah, you gotta be careful because you don't want to over season it. A lot of the smoking, the jerky that I made was trial and error until I finally got the right ratio of salt to no, Caleb, put it back, don't touch it. Let me see here. Sometimes you'll get a good piece. Sometimes you'll get a abnormally cut. Sometimes you just gotta have them wrap it carefully. Okay, I'm sorry. I gotta try to juggle my baby. I have them on that kangaroo pouch on my chest. All right. Let me see here. Okay, so this is more or less the size that you have here. It looks about maybe 8 by 5. I don't know. 9 by 5. Okay, so I'm gonna see if I could kind of, or you can see with the sun out there, this is pretty much see-through almost. In subsections you can see completely through. That's why I like this meat so much. I don't like the chewy traditional stuff that you find at stores or that you're used to. I like the crispy stuff. Like, to me, the easier to get through it, the better. I don't like having to be chewing my way through a piece of leather like a dog. I like my beef jerky to be enjoyable. Okay, so this is the cut right here, pretty much. There's a lot of people that like jerky a whole lot of different ways. The way I like it and I enjoy it is the following. Okay, you got your meat here, bless you. You got your meat and you got some connective tissue. I don't know what it is exactly. See if I could zoom it in a little bit so you see what I'm talking about. Okay, so you got this connective tissue, fat or whatever. When it gets to the drying process, you know, it starts losing liquid or just moisture. And you gotta be careful. You have too much of this in any cut of meat. What ends up happening is you start getting oily spots. So you gotta, you know, kind of monitor your drying process, and kind of what I do is I dab it with paper towels to absorb that extra oil, because it's not really good for the jerky, especially if you're trying to get it all dried up. But in some sections such as this, I like that it's favorable because you get a nice little chewy fatty part to gnaw on that has extra flavor. Yeah, I like my jerky with a little bit, just a little bit of fat on there. That way you're able to break off those little pieces and just put them in your mouth, those little pieces of flavor. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how I do it here. I have my piece here. Let me see if I could. Okay. And I'm gonna use my kosher salt. Okay. So I'm just literally going to sprinkle very little. Oh, that's a little bit too much. Yeah, just very little amounts. What, Caleb? Okay, so I went ahead and sprinkled it one side. I'm gonna go ahead and show you my setup of how I have everything set up here in my kitchen. Okay, so you know, you rinse or wash your racks. I put them right above the counter, the sink, because once I start adding the other seasoning, it's gonna need somewhere to fall. So I have this perfect setup here. It works great for me. I season with salt on a cutting board there, and then when I turn it over, I put it here. I find it's, you know, easier to clean up, especially since the missus is OCD about cleanliness. So this helps quite a bit. Okay, yeah, just make sure you have a nice clean sink to do it in. Okay, let me go ahead and adjust this camera a little bit here. Like I said, sorry guys, I'm kind of babysitting. Let me show you what I got here. Got my little barbecue buddy, Emiliano. Say hi, Emiliano. So it's kind of a little bit difficult. I got this really crappy tripod here that I've had for a while. What, Caleb? What? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and place carefully the meat on here, just like so. Just like that. Careful. I'm telling you, this cut of meat is awesome because it's just so thin, and it takes usually, depending on how much you stuff the smoker, it could take anywhere from 5 to 7 hours. I bought about $12 worth, so I think it might be just a little bit crowded. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and zoom it in again. Now we can see how much of this product I use. Okay, so this was the one I was gonna use. This is a salt-free seasoning, but I forgot I had this Weber roasted garlic herb seasoning. This has salt in it already. So you look there, it's got garlic, salt, spices, sweet, red pepper, natural flavor. So we're gonna add just a small amount of it on the other side, since one side is already salted up. And the chunkier the spices, the better, in my opinion, for my jerky. Like I said, every person likes jerky different. So since this does have salt already, I'm not gonna use too much because I don't wanna over salt it up, like I said. So just enough. You know, there's no mistakes, right? It's just happy little accidents. Okay. The cool part about, you know, thinking about how to set your meats is you don't have to mess with it anymore. You'll salt one side, flip it over, so that way you don't have to flip it over again, and then compromise the amount of spice you have on the meat. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and add. Looks like I'm able to fit at least one more piece here. You want to have a little bit of an open space, that way, you know, kind of aerates or lets the smoke and the heat travel. Before I finish The other thing, I just want to give a shout out to Claudia Diaz, my sister-in-law. She, in Thanksgiving, she made this amazing, her salsa is always the best. She made this awesome, I think it's chile de árbol salsa. Very spicy stuff. What I did is I put some in a baggie, what do you call it? A sandwich bag. And I vacuum sealed it and I froze it. It looks like it's ready. So I'm gonna use about half of the load with that garlic blend, and the other half with this chile de árbol. Just a few dabs, just like that. Try not to put too much pressure on it because you have your meat on your racks. So the more pressure, the more, I don't know, you can see it here, dipples or ripples. You're gonna start creating where the mixture here is gonna go ahead and pull up in. You don't want spots on your meat to have more salsa or seasoning than others. So just to try to put a little bit as light of a pressure as you can. Okay, so here we have the finished product, the seasoned product. So we have a little bit of chile de árbol, which looks just like this, nicely coated. And you have your garlic herbs. Go ahead and alternate it a little bit. You can see the difference between the Mrs. Dash, which is a little bit more of a finer, and the Weber roasted garlic seasoning. It's a little more coarser. The Weber is, Mrs. Dash is a little bit more of a drier, finer stuff. So the next step to do is go ahead and prep up your smoker. All right, so here we are, Masterbuilt 440 series. We're gonna go ahead and open up the vents all the way, which they are. Let's see, we're gonna put the temperature, bottom elements, at about 165. Click that. Do the time. I'd say about 6 hours. We'll still be monitoring every hour and a half. Smoke setting, best thing, best feature. You got individual smoke settings. If you want a cold smoke, you do not have to add any heat to it. In this case, we're going to be using wood chunks. Sweet setting per Mr. Jim Fanto on the My Masterbuilt Smoker page on Facebook. It says 3 is a good sweet spot. We're going to be using cherry wood today. Alright, open this up and pop it in. Alright, we're going to pop this bad boy in here. Just like so. Close the door. Let's start rolling smoke. Okay, so what it looks like so far, that's about, let me see here, about 4 hours in, right there. I went ahead and rotated the trays. This is what you don't want. That's over drying. That's gonna harm your jerky. If you add a little bit more of a darker color, usually states for it being a little bit thick and needing a little bit of time. But I went ahead and I put them all in the very top section of the smoker, and I'm just rotating. See, this right here is just a little bit too dry for my liking, but it'll still serve for a good jerky. There's that connective tissue I was talking to you guys about. When it's all done, that's going to be a nice chewy, delectable bite. Right, we need about 2 hours left, and that's it. All right, so at this point, we're going to go and check the jerky now. Check for doneness. I do the tap test. That's what I do. Now, since they are, oops, drop one. Oh, 5-second rule. Now, since you know they will be a little bit soft. Look at that, looks good. That looks really good. Okay, so since they might be a little bit soft, we're gonna have to let them cool down to find out if they really are all ready. But I think due to the thinness of these, I think they're all ready. All right, guys, this is the final product. Got the chile de árbol right here. We got the really chunky garlic. More habanero. So I got a good yield. I'm not going to find you those pieces that I told you were nice and greasy. I think there's one right here. You know what, I'm going to go ahead and take a piece out of this one here. This to me is the best part right here. So without further ado, there's that. Just make sure I'm recording myself. Okay, so I'm gonna try it. And you can see that there. Not bad at all. I like that fatty stuff. Pretty good. So here's the test, the brake test. See that? That is awesome. Look at that. That's exactly how I like my jerky. Crispy, easy to chew. Easy to chew. And that's it. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm gonna go ahead and vacuum seal these and take them to my customers. Got a couple of people that wanted some. Yeah. All right. Thanks so much. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll be adding more smoking videos as I come back to town for my work week out of town. All right, guys. Take it easy. Bye.